Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelava, and this is Mayan Speedplay number 14. We left off with 3 armies in the mountains in South America, next to a British 56 stack. We're not going to attack that, although I was kind of probing. The idea is really just to follow them as closely as we can and try to retake our fortress. We've got 3 groups of armies, which we have split up to not take attrition. The plan is, though, we're going to need to rush really quickly, but the plan was that we could get all of our forces in to that province before they would get there so we would win due to the mountain bonuses. It looks as though even with the mountain bonuses and our entire army, we are still going to lose that out loud. We check what peace deal we could make because I don't want to lose the war score and then find out, and we would make a pretty terrible peace deal, so we're not going to do that. They want a lot of our northeastern territories, so let's go ahead and just evacuate from this battle. Kind of sadly, we killed about 9,000 of their troops and lost significantly more of our own. However, bright side, the war in the north is going very well, as we have around 6,000 men compared to their 4,000, and yeah, that's not really the biggest theater compared to the 56,000 men fighting in the south. It looks as though we might be able to destroy the entire North American British military machine right now, which sounds a lot more impressive than what it kind of is, but at any rate, that is what it is. It's the same thing, technically. We do also have a bunch of Central American forces. We stack-wiped them in North America. The entire British North American presence has been destroyed. We're also attacking them in Mesoamerica. Hopefully we can destroy their entire presence in this region as well. They're bringing up their 48 stack now, and we're going to just try to avoid that so as to not die. So in a way, we didn't quite complete our mission of getting them out of Central America. We are taking additional loans, which is less than ideal. At this point, all of our sieges in the north seem to be complete, though, which is very good. The entire British North American presence, as I am really fond of saying, has been destroyed. And now we can ship our forces back over to South America, hopefully unsiege a few of those provinces, maybe attack that 5 stack at some point. They are offering us a white peace. Well, since they're offering a white peace, we may as well see if we can get anything more. We are being offered this white peace after a pretty significant battle loss. So if we're able to maybe keep our armies intact and just escape from all of these British forces, we may be able to pull this whole war off, at least in some manner. We are once again just avoiding their forces. It's basically a repetition of the last war now, although with considerably more forces, and we can't even win the battles, which is a bit of a worrying turn. We are still picking off straggling elements, though, which is good, and we are avoiding their main force. That 45 stack was once a much larger stack, so we are at least getting them weaker due to attrition, if nothing else. We've also secured the Arctic passes into Canada, so that's great. We don't have to worry about colonials just showing up and shoveling themselves through all of our North America. We're also going to attempt to maybe unify our forces and probably just evacuate that group. Okay, they've stopped. We don't need to do that. We can just wait here. The colonization of the Philippines is going fairly well, so my fretting that we would have to abandon that is really just unnecessary, I guess. Really, though, the main issue is we don't want to lose really anything, particularly our armies. We're going to avoid that British stack because it's charging south. It looks as though they're going after our rebels, which would be pretty spectacular, and they were. So alright, that is just great news. They are coming back up, probably to attack us. Chinese states are getting their independence, which is nice when we actually are free enough to go attack them. Although I worry that we will never really be that free, as we could always get attacked by Europeans. We are going to go ahead and see what kind of war score it would take to get the 13 colonies. It's 27%. Probably could have slowed that bit down for you guys. Sorry about that. At any rate, though, we're now chasing their largest army. That 47 or 49 stack, the 56 stack turned into a 39 stack. So it has been taking quite a bit of attrition. Hopefully enough that if we trick them into attacking us, we will be able to win the battle. They are sieging our capital, though, which is in part decent news because it means that they've given up on just sieging out our entire countryside and are now looking for a single territory to just go after. Hopefully that means it is a newer stage of the war where we'll be doing significantly better. They did just lower our war score a bit by controlling our capital. Hopefully we can just seize that right on back. We are continuing to colonize just our eastern seaboard bits. We do charge up, and they are going to attack us, so we go ahead, forced march, and charge right back over to meet them. They attack. We are losing slightly, however we will have nearly double their forces. And here we go. If we can't win this, then we can't win. And they are still winning this pretty hard. We are losing less than they are, at least a third of the time, but we're going to lose this battle, and they do control our capital. So what we're going to do is, instead of dealing with that whole thing all over again, we're just going to split apart their 13 colonies as best we can, weaken them as much as possible, and cut them off from going deeper into the interior. So we're going to just mess around trying to find out the best amount that we can take from them. We probably should have made this peace deal before they sieged out our capital. However, I was thinking we could win the battle and then just go for broke. That didn't end up happening, which is not the end of the world. We can hopefully start detaching some of our mercenary elements and just go back to a more regular peacetime military. That may be a little hopeful. Who's really to say? We have taken a few loans, and we are still at war with the Castillians, although that isn't really that significant of a thing, as their colonial nations have really been taking the brunt of it. So what we can do, though, is just load up some troops. Probably not really right there. We'll load 2,000 men up to go take whatever islands of theirs we can find, which is really just the Galapagos. And the rest of our forces might even be able to go all the way into Europe and attack Spain proper, which would hopefully give us enough war score that we could really impose whatever demands we want. It looks as though there was a rebellion just a moment ago, just of 13 colonial peasants or whatnot. So what we're going to have to do is obviously deal with that first and foremost. Our Philippines Trade Company is now successful enough that we have a merchant, which is really the dawn of our Asiatic empire. We also continue to just attack rebels, so even at peace we're kind of at war. Although I guess that's just the Mayan way at this point. And I guess we're not even at peace, we are still fighting the Castillians, so even that statement just made no sense. But we've been fighting a lot. Hopefully we'll have a bit of a calmer moment, and we'll be able to go back to fighting primitives, although first we do need to just deal with the rebel issue. They are transferring themselves over to Panama, so we'll just leave an army there. And at this rate we can just pick up 12,000 men, hopefully ask for military access from Portugal, and just go drop our troops off in Portugal, maybe go pick up even more forces, and then just destroy the Castilian Empire. French-Mexico has honored their alliance. We are at war with the French. Okay, so we're going to pull our troops back to the North American continent because that is now a very significant issue facing us. They are fighting for a bit of Louisiana, which at least since it's on the mainland we can hopefully defend or at least readily take back when they attack it. We're going to just kill as many natives as we possibly can to free up our armies and just start splitting our forces across their colonial nations. Hopefully we'll be able to just make some rapid gains, and, well, really we're just going to have to hold them. What we've learned, the lesson of these wars, has really just been that the only way to really win these is to just push them off of the continent and then not allow them to move through and get a significant foothold. We are going to go ahead and build an additional army group just for quicker invasions of Mexico and Texas area. Continue to explore various bits of the Pacific, and it looks like Florida is going to fall without a fight, as is their main area. So this will all be fairly quickly done. From there, we'll start moving our forces up and trying to get them against the Mexico-Texas area, avoiding their forces when... Oh, that's right, we were trying to avoid the rebellion. Well, anyway, so the rest of our forces are going to move up. We'll move those troops down to deal with the rebels. And that was a dumb mistake. They have 15,000 men. Hopefully we'll do better against them than the British. We do win against the rebels, which is great. It looks as though our colonial ally in rebellion has joined our war and lost a battle immediately. We charge up to fight. We have double their numbers, so hopefully that'll be enough to make up for our inferior troops. It looks like it may or may not. We do go ahead and just send additional forces in, which does turn the tide. Now we're just going to go ahead and lose that battle in Florida, apparently, as they dropped off additional reinforcements. Everyone else is just going to keep moving forward, and we can de-siege that rebel-occupied province, hopefully fairly easily and without too much conflict. And alright, we're going to split this force up, take over as many territories as we can in Texas. Control of the land is the most vital aspect to our victory or defeat in these wars, and let's aim for a victory. Alright, so we've kind of just went from one war to another. Although we did make considerable gains in the last war, hopefully we can get to a position where we'll be able to make gains in this one. I imagine they won't be able to leave all of their armies in the New World for a very considerable amount of time. It looks as though one of the colonial nations we were supporting the independence of has made peace. That's hopefully not going to be too significant of an issue. We're also going to try to converge our forces on this tin stack, hopefully destroying it. Well, probably not destroying it, but hopefully at least bloodying it and making it a little bit less effective. We would cross a river, though, and I don't want to do that. Castilian Brazil has made peace. They're still going to be a subject, though, so who's really to say? Although they are getting subsidies from Castile in the form of just war reps. We are going to keep up. Hopefully we can just attack this army right now. We're just going to move everything together to avoid any river crossing penalties. And just move on south. And it looks as though we may end up crossing a river, although at this point we outnumber them so much I don't really think it's going to matter. And it appears that that is correct. We are back up to +3 stability thanks to events, and we're going to keep moving our armies forward and just dealing with everything that we can. However, that's going to wait until next time. What we're going to do right now is just call it and come back and finish the war in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.